The Kahnawà Environment Protection Office is pleased to announce a restoration project of the Recreation Bay Johnson's Beach area. KEPO representative Lyn Jacobs tells us more about the project.
So the Environment Protection Office has been working for quite a number of years to decide how we can address the problems in the bay. We know for many years now that the bay is filling up with sediment. There's a lot of aquatic vegetation that's been growing in the bay. It's making it impassable for, recreation and just generally, people using the bay. So in 2008, we did a study on the shorelines, all the shorelines in the community, in fact, including all the ones in the bay, to look at what's happening in this area. From that, the next year, we did a study to look at the sediment because the sediment, like I mentioned, has been accumulating. So we mapped out the sediment in the bay. It's called bathymetry. So you map out all the different levels of sediment, where the big problems are happening. And we also did some sampling of the sediment at that time. Not a huge amount, but just to get an idea of what's going on with the quality of the sediment. And some problems were identified. And then from there, the next few years, we did some fish studies. What's happening in the bay with regards to fish habitat. And we found that the habitat's being degraded so much because of the problems that the fish habitat is deteriorating as well. In 2015, we did a modeling project, and that was to model different types of solutions. So some solutions were proposed. Obviously dredging is one of them, but where should we dredge and how should we dredge? There's a lot of different methods for dredging. Removal of aquatic plants is another one that was proposed. Increasing the flow of the locks in St. Catherine. All these different options were modeled. And we came up with some solutions. And so this year, the solutions that were chosen, the best solutions, are being designed. So we're going to design construction-ready plans to actually carry out the dredging and the specific kind of dredging that has been proposed, to do all the sediment sampling. So we know exactly what's happening with the sediment in the bay, because if the sediment is contaminated, that needs to be removed. That will be very costly. We'll have to deal with, disposal of contaminated sediment, removal of the boulders. What do we do with the boulders? So it's been a long process, and we just want to make sure that it's done right. It has to be a long-term solution. You don't want to come in here and do something and then the problem will come back the next year. So this year is going to produce all of the plans that are required to actually carry out the work. And it will also give us the cost, a high-level cost of what it's going to take to remediate the bay, to fix the bay. That would involve the dredging. It would involve removal of the aquatic plants. It'll involve dealing with the sediment, dealing with the boulders, repairing the shorelines. And after the work is done, you have to repair the shorelines, taking care that we minimize the environmental impacts during the work and after the work. It's going to be a costly endeavor, and we're going to be looking for external funding, Environment Canada, different sources of funding any funding we can find out there, the Seaway Authority. Hopefully we can come up with that funding and carry out the work next summer.